Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Outer Rim Cantina. My name's Alan, and today I wanted to talk about the beautiful, amazing trailer we were just blessed with last night for The Mandalorian. This is the second, and I think final, but don't quote me on that, trailer for the brand new live-action Star Wars series that begins streaming on Disney Plus on November 12th, which is just about 2 weeks away. While the first trailer we got for the show last month or so was amazing, I personally think this one just blows the first one out of the water. If you're someone who's worried about watching the trailers because you don't want anything spoiled for you, first of all, I don't know why you'd be watching this video, but you shouldn't worry about that because in typical Lucasfilm fashion, the trailer reveals pretty much nothing about the actual plot of the show. It's made up of some shots that are reused from the first trailer, mixed in with some brand new footage, but it's mostly just showing off the Mandalorian in all his badass glory, rather than actually giving away plot points for the show, which I'm all about. I know that's not some people's cup of tea, and they'd rather have at least a bit of the plot or story given away in trailers as to hook them into watching the movie or series, but I'd much rather go in knowing nothing or as little as possible about the plot. Before I get into the nitty-gritty of the trailer, I just want to say that there is one scene in particular that just put a giddy smile on my face that only Star Wars can do. That scene is right here, where a few stormtroopers are standing outside of a building, waiting for the Mandalorian to come out so they can either kill or arrest him, but obviously the Mandalorian has other plans. As soon as the door opens, he grabs the closest trooper's blaster, shoves it down to the ground, he pulls out his own blaster pistol, and blows that poor stormtrooper's face off. It looks like Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni weren't kidding when they said the series was basically going to be a space western with lots of intense action and gunfights. Now, with that out of the way, let's get into the actual breakdown and my reactions of some of these awesome moments in the trailer. First off, the trailer opens with that same shot of all the stormtrooper helmets on pikes, with the Mandalorian walking past them into a town that looks like it could be on Tatooine, but I'm not quite sure. Along with this, we also get some new dialogue from Werner Herzog's character, where he says, quote, "Is the world safer since the revolution?" with a shot of what looks to be dewback stormtroopers either patrolling or chasing after something or someone. For those of you who don't know, the timeline for the show is about 5 years after Return of the Jedi, so while the Empire is technically defeated and disbanded, there are still cells which refuse to give up and still control certain planets or sections in the galaxy. It looks like we'll be seeing the Mandalorian combating one of those cells on some planet, which I hope is brand new and not just Tatooine or something, because I honestly think that would be kind of boring, but I don't really think it looks like Tatooine. It kind of does, but I highly doubt it actually will be. Or at least the whole show won't be taking place on Tatooine. I think it'll mostly be taking place on brand new planets. After that, we see the Mandalorian having a fight with two Trandoshans that ambush him in some kind of canyon that's again on an unidentified planet. It would be interesting if this was some kind of setup for Bossk to be included in the series, leading some kind of Trando alliance or something, and the Mandalorian gets on their bad side. Any excuse to include Bossk in canon is good enough for me because he's honestly an underused character, especially in the OT. The Clone Wars kind of made up for that, but it would still be cool to bring Bossk back into live action in something like this show, if only for a minor role. After the Trando fight, it cuts to a scene that was in the first trailer, with someone who is apparently Moralo evolved from the Clone Wars, frozen in carbonite. Something we didn't get to see in the first trailer, though, is the zoom out to the 3 other carbonite slabs. This makes me wonder if, since the Mandalorian has apparently captured Eval, do those other carbonite slabs hold people like Cad Bane or other famous bounty hunters that we've seen in the past? I know there is an unfinished scene from the Clone Wars where Bane dies in a duel with Boba Fett, but since it never made it into the actual finished show, that technically isn't canon, so they could still use the character of Cad Bane for something else, even if it's just a fun cameo in this show. That's all speculation, of course, but those slabs of carbonite do show up later in the trailer as well, so they're obviously at least semi-important for something that we'll see in the final show. Then we get to my favorite scene of the Mandalorian blowing that stormtrooper's face in, which I talked about earlier, so let's skip ahead to my other favorite scene, where we get to see some planet being attacked by the Separatist Alliance. At first, I thought this was someone that was using separatist tech to terrorize people or something, but after seeing what people had to say about it on Twitter and watching the trailer a few more times, I'm convinced this is a flashback to the Mandalorian's childhood during the Clone Wars. This also goes along with what Herzog's character says at the start of the trailer, quote, "I'm sorry your people suffered." In the scene, we get to see a droid gunship on what appears to be a bombing run of whatever town they're attacking. Then it cuts to a scene of young Pedro Pascal and his mother and father running away from two super battle droids. I gotta say though, those SBDs in the background of this shot already look way cooler than the ones we see in episodes 2 and 3, just thought I'd point that out. After that, we get some more glamour shots of the Mandalorian in all his badass glory, along with these two shots which I'm very excited to learn more about. We see Cara Dune, the former rebel commando who joins the Mandalorian on his adventures, but behind her is a group of people who could possibly be the survivors of the Separatist attack in the Clone Wars, and the Mandalorian and his family had to run from, and they were all forced to relocate to another world. The next shot is one where we see a woman that looks like she's about to remove his helmet. I'm going to guess this is going to be his love interest in the show, or they're going to pull an original trilogy and have her be the Mandalorian's sister or something, but that'd be a little too weird. The trailer ends off with another shot of the Mandalorian holding up his long rifle about to shoot something or someone, and this is the first time we actually get to hear him speak. After that, the trailer cuts to black and the title card shows up. All in all, this is a fun trailer with lots of action and enough mismatched story beats to make me very interested in learning more about the Mandalorian as a character and all of the people around him. As I said in the beginning, since we're only 2 weeks away now from the first episode of the show, I'm pretty sure this is the final trailer. Of course, if they bring out a third next week, I'll watch it at least 5 times, if not more, but I don't really see what they could throw in without giving away parts of the story or plot. We'll just have to wait and see, but I know I'm super excited for this, and a lot of you are too. As always, I'd love to know what you think of the trailer down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video or any of the other content on my channel, I'd really appreciate it if you could leave a like on the video, as those really do help a small channel like this, and consider subscribing if you want more Outer Rim Cantina content in your subscription feed every week. That's all the time I've got for today. I hope to see you back here in the Cantina on Thursday for another Star Wars video. Until then, may the Force be with you.